Hello, Tranicon viewers. It's that time again. The Fallout rant. I don't know if I want to be ranting today or not. I might just talk about what I think of some of the games I've been playing lately. My review, in a way, of first of all, The Evil Within. The Evil Within, I didn't want to play in the slightest when I saw the reviews, even though they were giving it like 9 out of 10s and stuff. It looked, to be honest, terrible. It looked like a generic survival horror, cliched, old school, but in a bad way. And I didn't get the scores. It looked like they'd been paid off, which maybe they were. Having now played it, I'm up to chapter 6. I obviously haven't uploaded all of it yet. I've still got another 2 hours of footage that's not been uploaded. But I haven't got around to editing it or whatever. But what do I think of it so far? I actually really like it. Even though if I had to rate it out of 10, I'd probably only give it a 7. Even though I really like it, it's definitely not a 9. It's very flawed. You know, I'll talk about the things I don't like about it first. The controls are pretty horrible. Now, people are making excuses for this, like, well, it's meant to be so your characters are a bit inept, so therefore it gets more tense and scary, because you can't really kick the monster's asses. But that's bollocks, you know. Dark Souls 2 and 1 are really hard games, and they've got, well, Dark Souls 2's got pretty good controls. So that's a crap excuse. I don't know, the controls are just clunky and slightly unresponsive, and your man is so useless, the way he sort of runs for 2 seconds and then has to pant. It's just a bit silly. And the wobbly gun, the weird hit detection, the inept melee that's useless, and it's just very glitchy and weird, and you know, the camera's way too close, the stupid widescreen borders, I don't know what the fuck they put that in there for. I know they were trying to make it like a movie, but it's a game, it's not a movie. I saw some people on talking about oh, it's like in a movie when it's widescreen, you're getting extra footage on the left and right, you're not actually losing the top and bottom. It's like, no, that's different. A movie is shot with lenses that do that. And the director then will frame the shot with exactly what he or she wants you to see in that frame. In a game, especially a horror game, and you're walking around, you need to see what's up and down a lot. So you have to keep sort of looking up or looking down all the time. It's annoying. I don't know, it just doesn't work. It's not remotely the same thing. It's not shot with a camera lens. Those borders can be removed, and then you'd see what was on top and bottom as well. It's bollocks.
He's fashioned himself an abomination.
He's done it either to be like a movie, or he wanted it to be more claustrophobic, but it's just annoying. It doesn't really work.
Let me have a look.
The story's stupid and kind of obvious what's going to happen, and it's cliched. Every single level and monster I've seen in multiple other games. It's basically like Last of Us meets Resi 4 meets Silent Hill meets Alone in the Dark 3 or something. It's sort of very cliched. Every single enemy I've seen in something before, and you know, the level in the woods just feels exactly like the first level in Resi 4 with the traps and all that and everything. It's, well, basically the same game. What else don't I like? The music's rubbish. It's just a racket in the background. Resi had really good music. Resi 1, 2, 3 and Code Veronica. They had really good scores. Really memorable to this day. I love that music. But since Resi 4 and Silent Hill kind of started doing it, it's just like a racket designed to maybe scare you, but it doesn't really scare you. And it's just a racket, really. It's not very good. It doesn't have much atmosphere, the music. It's kind of crap. And it basically doesn't really do anything new with the survival horror genre. It's all stuff we've seen before, really. All the big famous survival horror games I'd put above it, really. And the fact that it's got no consistency and every fucking level is slightly different is a good and bad thing. It's good because it makes it quite exciting, like, ooh, what's the next level going to be? But at the same time, it's like, well, it's got no sort of style of its own. It's just a load of random horror stuff, which is a little bit weird. What else? It's fairly linear, apart from the odd level. I know most survival horrors are, but we need to try and do something about that and make it a bit different. I don't know. Obviously the acting is in its crap, but I kind of like that. It's cheesy.
Those tents down there, that is a white leg wall.
I don't know what else, but anyway, having said that though, I like the game. And the reason I like it is because it's really stylish, even though the graphics are not next-gen quality.
Yes.
They're still really cool though, and really nice to look at, and they're very stylish. I like the style, I like the ambience, I like the lighting, I like the design of the monsters, even though it's cliched and stuff, it's kind of... they're still kind of cool, and there's a lot of detail in the level design and stuff, and it's just got a nice style about it. I don't know, and it's really quite fun to play, even though it's frustratingly clunky at times. So I like the game, and if you're a horror game fan, I'd recommend it. Prepare for bad controls and some frustrating, stupid shit, but you know. Just because I think it's kind of cool and stylish, that's enough for me. I like it. So I'm quite surprised. I thought I was going to hate it. I thought I was just going to be getting it for the channel. In fact, my co-buddy who runs the channel had to really bug me to buy it. I really didn't want to. But it's good. It's good.
This is how we
Alien, however, I don't particularly care for it, really.
I'll stay here with the others.
It's a bit boring. Just having one alien after you isn't that interesting, really. And it's just a lot of monotonous missions, pulling switches and stuff while avoiding an alien. It's the same set piece for the entire game, so it's quite dull. And the corridors all look kind of boring. It doesn't really feel like Ridley's classic film at all, if you ask me.
From this position.
And the alien's nowhere near as scary as that film.
Leader, salt upon wounds, and prevent him from fleeing. Show no
I don't know, in the Ridley film, the creature kind of doesn't seem to just clump around like an idiot looking for people. It's sort of creepier than that, isn't it? It kind of appears in these really creepy ways and then takes people out. I don't know, it doesn't really work in a game. Not to mention, the alien creature has been seen to death now. We've had like 4 movies, 2 silly AVP movies, tons of comics and shitloads of video games. The creature's become a pop culture icon now. It's not even that creepy anymore. It's more cool. But this game is trying to scare you with this creature that I've seen to death. So it's not really working for me. And the build-up to where the creature showed it was so fucking dull. And people were sort of going, well, you know, have you never heard of a build-up? Like, the movie's slow. The movie's not remotely slow in the build-up. The build-up's constantly fascinating in Alien 1. You know, they go onto that creepy-ass planet. The whole thing's just got a creepy atmosphere before anything happens. Yeah, a slow build-up's right, but it's not a good build-up, this one in this game. It's just literally nothing happens and you walk around corridors. It's not tense because nothing's happening. I could tell when the alien was going to turn up. Imagine if Alien 1 had just started with them suddenly just finding a ship of people who suddenly went, oh, guess what, there's an alien on board, and that was it, without any of that cool mystery of the spaceship and going down onto the spaceship with that team and finding the eggs, and then suddenly the fucking facehugger gets him. And you're like, what the fuck is that? And then they take him back to the ship. And it's just such a constant build-up of cool, creepy stuff in Alien 1. Especially if you've never seen it before. And then when you don't expect the chest burster moment. And it's constantly new reveals of creepy shit, that movie. It's not just, here's a spaceship and guess what? There's an alien on board. Now we've all got to run around avoiding it. That's crap. The build-up of Alien 1 is awesomely done, which is why Alien's one of the great films. Anyway, I'll keep doing it on the channel though, because a stalwart Kuro Wolf XE, if you've seen at the beginnings, he gifted us the game. So just because of that, I'm going to finish the whole thing. But I'm not loving it. It was okay when the alien very first showed up the first time. It was kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool. But then very quickly, it's like, what's the same thing over and over? They needed to come up with more set pieces in the game, and they didn't. So, and I found out this is the company that made all those kind of total roam games. That's what they're good at, really. I don't think they exactly knew how to do a survival horror. So I much prefer The Evil Within. Also, I was meant to sort of say what I thought about Dead Space 1 versus Dead Space 2 in the last vid, and I'm pretty sure I didn't. Maybe I've forgotten I did, but... yeah, anyway, I completed Dead Space 2, obviously, not so long ago. And, which do I prefer? Well, I prefer Dead Space 1 by miles. I don't really get the big hype over the second one. It's almost like people forgot what the first one was. The only things the second one improved on for me was the graphics are slightly better, but not miles better. The controls were a bit less clunky. And there was a few more extra enemies in it, but that's about it. In every other way, I prefer the first one. I thought the first one's story was a zillion times better. Especially as you didn't know what the fuck was going on. It had the mystery of what are these creatures, what's the marker supposed to be, blah blah blah. 2 didn't have any of that. We knew what it all was going on by then. And I thought, giving Isaac a voice, they didn't do a very good job with it. He's like a bland character. You know, he'd fight a necromorph and then say something like, man, that thing was mad. I mean, that's just shit. You wouldn't say that. That's just not well written stuff. It's best to have kept... when he was not talking in the first one, it was kind of creepy and mysterious. He wouldn't shut up as some kind of Bruce Willis character in the second one. It was just crap. Plus the plot was just shit in the second one. I didn't care for it at all. And the spaceship the first one was based on was way creepier than that sprawl thing. That was just like a big... it was like playing in the Citadel or something. It just wasn't scary. And seeing all these cars flying around and all these people and stuff, it just lost all that isolation, creepy atmos the first game had. The first game had an Event Horizon and alien creepiness to it, and the second game didn't have that at all. And I thought the score, the music, was better in the first one as well. And the first one was harder too. Seemed a bit more intense, the creatures. And also the first one had more bosses. There wasn't many bosses in it, but there was more than the fucking second one, which didn't really have any. And the last boss of the second one was terrible. First boss was a spectacular creature in the first game. And that build-up when you went onto the planet in the first game and you sort of moving the marker and all that, that was all a really cool set piece. The second one didn't have anything like that, it just sort of ended, it was kind of naff. So I don't know what the fuck everyone's saying that one's better than the first one for, I don't get it. Plus it was more action-y, the second one, it was more like an action horror. The first one's like that too, but the first one felt more survival horror than the second one did. I don't know why people were surprised when the third one turned into a... not even a horror game anymore. The second one was heading that way. So yeah, much prefer the first one, really. I don't get... I actually thought it was a 6 out of 10 or something, the second one, to be honest. The first one was probably an 8, something like that. I think people forgot how much better the first one was, to be honest. Don't get it. Maybe people liked the second one because it was more arcadey, because it was more kind of cool and arcadey than creepy and grim. So In a horror game, I'd rather have creepy and grim. Yeah, this again is not a live commentary. This was already pre-recorded footage. I hated this DLC of this fucking Burn Man. I thought the Burn Man was cool, but I thought the whole level was crap. This place did not look like Fallout. It just looked like Turok or something. And these enemies are so boring to fight, these tribes people. So I didn't care for this DLC. Not one bit. So, another thing I was gonna mention, some people were saying I need to put my face on camera now, and that's why I'm not a bigger deal on YouTube. I don't know if that's true or not, but I don't care. I would never put my face on camera. I have zero interest in becoming YouTube famous in that sense, like some kind of YouTube celebrity. Not because I'm worried about crazy fans or anything, it just doesn't interest me. You know? Playing video games and mucking around like this is fun and all of that, but you know, it's not my plan to stick with this. I've just finished the draft of my next script, and I gotta polish it up and stuff, and then I'm gonna make some short films after that to promote the films and stuff. And I'm gonna keep up with YouTube and stuff. But yeah, I will never be putting my face on camera. Sorry. It's not my style. We've took out the camp of the enemy tribe here. Plus, I think because my gimmick on YouTube was actually never to do Let's Plays. When I first showed up, I was doing machinimas. And which is more like what I do. It's like movies, and we're using the game engine. So I enjoyed that more, but obviously Skyrim lost its popularity and those views started to drop on those kind of vids, and they're not really worth putting all that effort in for no views. Or not enough views. So I moved on to the Let's Play thing because there was no other game. If I could do machinimas on every game, if every game had console commands like Skyrim, I'd always be doing machinimas on every single game. But they don't, so I'm fucked until Fallout 4 comes out by the looks of it. Unless GTA on PC's got some good stuff with it, which we'll see.
And you persisted. You took advantage of us at New Canaan to drive us out. And like the dogs of
So I guess that's partly why I never wanted to put my face on camera. It was never my plan. I play these silly characters,
a temple to God's glory,
and
I
think people are best to sort of like. That's why Throthgat, you know, even in the game, I don't want him to have a face. Obviously, TJ Laser's got a face, but yeah, I think it's better the mystery for the character's sake. I think.
Kunaman mad.
I don't think I could do Let's Plays as me. Apart from these occasional rants because of this reason, because I rant. I'm a grouchy bastard. And people don't want to watch a grouchy bastard in the masses. They'd rather watch somebody being funny. So, that's Thrusker or TJ Laser or Billy fucking hashtag or whatever the fuck. 4,000 XP for owning the white legs or whatever with Joshua Gray. If I appeared on camera, I'd be like that with the bandages on my face. Mysterious. Who is he? Looks like I've completed the Burn Man DLC here.
The New Canaanites and the White Legs was finally resolved. The courier's involvement had tipped the scale, shifting the fragile balance of power.
Despite their defeat at Three Marys and the death of their war chief, The Whitelegs were determined to pursue the other new Canaanites. But when they finally tracked down their prey in Colorado, they discovered the tables had been turned. The Whitelegs who survived the new Canaanites' ambushes were hunted down by dead horses before they could reach the safety of the Great Salt Lake. When word of the Whitelegs' diminished numbers reached the 80s tribe, war was declared, and by year's end, the Whitelegs had been wiped out.
The Sorrows fought beside Joshua Graham and the dead horses, eradicating the threat the Whitelegs posed to Zion. When the courier and Joshua Graham felled Salt upon Wounds, their victory was celebrated with a great feast.
Who's the guy explaining what happened to all of these crazy
The Sorrows'
characters?
transformation from a peaceful, timid tribe into a proud and warlike people broke Daniel's heart. He tried to take solace in the knowledge that they would remain in Zion, but it was a small comfort. The Sorrows' innocence was lost.
Having helped eradicate the Whitelegs from Zion, the dead horses returned to Dead Horse Point in triumph. They remained neutral toward the Sorrows, but as years went on, there were periods of competitive friction, even violence between the tribes. The new Canaanites, Daniel especially, intervened regularly as mediators, but found it difficult to reconcile the tribe's conflicts.
The defeat of the Whitelegs and Zion marked a turning point in the fortunes of the Happy Trails Caravan Company. Every 2 months, the caravan
voice
met
sounds
with
like
the new
Lee
Canaanites in Zion Valley to
from The
trade.
Walking Dead.
Happy Trails soon returned to prosperity. The vigilance of the Sorrows and dead horses in defending southwestern Utah, initially startling to Happy Trails.
Oh, to those people wondering where Demon Souls is, I said I was going to play Demon Souls, and I'm playing Dark
The
Souls
tribes
1 again.
united against the 80s, driving them back from Highway 50.
That Dark Souls
And
1
thus
footage had already been
opened yet
recorded a
another
few
trading
weeks
route for
ago.
Happy Trails caravans.
Waking Cloud turned bitter and resentful.
And the
toward
problem
Daniel
is, I
and
got to
the
get my
Canaanites.
PS3
When
back
she
from my
learned her
buddy,
husband's death had
and I got to
been
buy
concealed
Demon
from
Souls because I don't even own
her.
it.
She poisoned some of her tribe
But the
against
problem
the
is,
Canaanite
I don't
teachings,
really want to go
making relations
play
between the
Demon
groups
Souls with the
difficult from time to time.
PS3 controller. I don't really like the PS3 controller. So if I get used to using that thing, and then I've got to go play Dark Souls 1 again and go back to trying to get used to it with the Xbox controller. So I'm thinking get it over with quick Dark Souls 1 and then I'll get Demon Souls. I might get it and start doing them both at the same time.
He continued to
We'll see.
advocate militant opposition to the
But I definitely
enemy
will be doing it because I
and
want to
showed
play it
little quarter to
for
those
myself.
who
It looks cool.
fought. And yet he was changed.
I just wish it was on fucking
He no
PC.
longer reveled in the brutality and cruelty for which he had been
But
known
Sony own
his
the
former
rights to
life.
it, apparently.
His inner demons.
Well, it's never gonna happen.
extinguished,
I also saw a comment the other day about someone
appeased.
asking about
For years
t-shirts, so I'll
after
put a
defeat
link
of
at the end of the video, the
Whitelegs,
Tranicon
Daniel
shop, where
did
it
his
does
best
sell
to
t-shirts
minister to the
of
Sorrows' spiritual
Banana
needs.
and Throthgar and
Try as
TJ
he
Laser
might,
and all that stuff.
He could not hold back the tribe's increasing
If you're
violence
interested.
and weapons of Joshua Graham. Demoralized,
And
he returned to his
as
family
always, I
in
want to thank those
Point.
patrons, because without
His
those
failures
stalwart warriors,
haunted him for the rest
this
of his
channel
days.
would be long
And
gone.
with that, the courier walked out of the history
That's the only
of
thing that
tribes
keeps
of
it
Zion
going.
and back to
So
the
thanks for
gathering
watching,
storm of
people.
the Mojave
Working
West.
on the new TJ Laser, so that should be up this week. So, thanks again, and see you later.